I don't know. A lot's happened this week. It's been a little crazy, but I'm doing well. I'm doing good. Persevering. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know where to start. So today, I mean, it's been a good P day. We woke up, a little bit later, got some extra sleep, which was nice. Yes, I don't know. This week has just been, working. We worked hard this week. It was like every other day I worked hard, and every other day I was just like so tired. I don't know why. It was weird. This week has just been weird. It's like we worked super hard on Wednesday and worked really hard on Friday, and then we worked really hard on Sunday, and then Tuesday and Thursday and Saturday. So every other day was like, yeah, we worked all right, but I don't know why. It's like I just got so tired the next day after working really hard. So I guess it is true that if you work hard, you get tired. It makes you tired at least. But oh, it's been weird. I mean, trying to get adjusted to these guys, new companion. It's like, I don't know. Murphy and we're not really compatible, it seems. But I don't know what I need to do for us to get along a little bit better, but I don't know. Like, mission, we would not be friends.
I was just going to ask what Elder Murphy is like. What's his personality like?
Um, well, let's see. He's yeah, I'd say he's on the more outgoing side for sure. I mean, probably like 80% of what he says has something to do with women. He's just always talking about women, always talking about and like what he's gonna do after the mission and
Oh my
college
God.
and women, all women that he talks about. Like it might be a little bit biased, but I would say at least 60% of everything he says, all the conversations, is to do with women. But it feels like 80. And then the other 10, 15% is about college, what he's going to do after the mission. And then 5% miscellaneous. I don't know.
How long has he been there?
He's been out for 20 months. Yeah.
Oh,
So he's about to finish. And it shows because he also just lazy. I mean, because his last companion was Elder Wood. And my last companion was also Elder Wood. Oh, sorry. Yeah, last transfer I was with Elder Wood. And before me, Murphy was there. And so I replaced Murphy, but now I'm with him this transfer. And he was just dead in his time in Matella. And he's still, I mean, he's not dead. He's not a dead missionary, but like, he's just a lot more lazy. You know? But it is what it is. It's not that bad though. I mean, he works, but yeah, I mean, same thing. It's like if I slack off, he'll slack off. And but luckily, it does make it better that we're with four elders. So, because I mean, when he was in Tella with Elder Wood, like they didn't do jack squat, bro. But now that we're in a house with two other elders, like I guess there's that extra motivation to like actually do better, to actually work harder. Can't just slack off the entire time. So yeah, but it was a good week. I mean, we had quite a few good lessons. We've been doing a lot of contacting and just proselyting, trying to find people. And we found a couple people that possibly can progress. We'll see. I mean, this area is definitely a lot more like it seems a lot more promisable. No, that's not a word. Is that a word?
Promising.
Promisable?
Promising.
There we go. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this area seems a lot more promising. With like investigators in the work and everything. And the ward's also a lot better, but the ward also is like so anti-missionary right now.
Really?
Like the missionaries have a bad rep right now.
Who was there
So
before?
um there've been apparently just quite a few Perdita missionaries in this area recently,
Mm,
last few months. And so oh yeah. I mean we did ward council and sorry, not ward council. We did mission coordination. And mission coordination is just with one guy. Um he's actually the counselor. He's the first counselor of our mission president. And what's his name? Mr. Medina. Oh my gosh. And yeah, Carlos Medina, that's his name. And so he's the mission coordination leader. And I guess, we just talk to him, like figure out what we need from the members. We just talk to him and then he relays everything that we need to the other members in ward council. And so the missionaries don't typically go to ward council. And they don't want us there either. Because like I wanted to go to the ward council like just once this week because I want to talk to the members. I want to talk to the leaders like face to face and build that rapport. And this first week they were like, he was just like, no, it's not worth it to go to ward council because like I'm already going, so you guys don't need to go. I'm like, well, I understand, but I want to go because I want to meet the leaders face to face, and I also want to propose my idea of doing English class. And he was like, well, I just don't think that would be a good idea because like, you guys need to be working at night. You guys need to be, taking advantage of those sacred hours at like 6 to 9. Like, yes, but like just this week, just this one week, I want to actually meet the leaders face to face and talk with them. He's like, well, you've already met a couple leaders. Just every excuse, like, oh, you guys don't need to go. And which is like, he doesn't want us to go. And so I sent a message to the bishop. I'm like, hey, when's the next mission coordination or when's the next ward council going to be? It's like, I'd like to go because I want to talk to you guys face to face. I also want to propose my idea of doing English class. And he's like, well, you guys don't need to go to the ward council because we got it taken care of. And you just need to talk with Carlos and he'll talk to us. Like, so, hey, the members don't want us there, but clearly they don't want us there. But yeah, so the missionaries have lost a lot of trust with the members because according to the president, according to the mission coordination guy, I don't know. The missionaries just say, or sorry, oh my gosh, I can't speak right now. I'm so tired. The members say that I'm just gonna stand up. Maybe I'll speak better if I stand up. So the members are saying that the missionaries like have not been working recently, and they've just been like lazy, blah blah blah. Which I don't know how true a lot of those claims are, but like last transfer, I know Murphy and what's his face barely did anything. I mean, there's that. I don't know. The members, they always say stuff, but yeah, sure, of course. I mean, they always say stuff. They always talk, but I mean, usually those claims have some merit. And apparently, also some of the elders were like playing video games over at the house of some member, like throughout the week, and the bishop heard about that, and so more rapport gone. And that was Murphy. That was Murphy and his previous companion. So yeah, I mean, when I got here, I mean, we have very few people progressing, and we're just more or less starting over. So it is what it is. But that's okay because I mean I've learned a lot from my previous transfers. I learned a lot from Tella as well, and I'm able to actually apply this now because we're in a better ward. It's a better area. It's closer to the church as well, and there's just also a lot more opportunities for baptism as well. There's a lot more opportunities to find people that are interested. Because in Tella, I don't know, it was hard to find new people. It was also hard to find people that wanted to go to the church because if they don't have a car, tough luck. Probably not going to go because it's like an hour, hour and a half walk, depending on where you live. Um. Anyway, so I don't know. We were talking about that in mission coordination last week about he was addressing the fact that the missionaries have not been working the last couple months, and the members have just like lost a lot of trust in them, unfortunately. But
What had the missionaries been doing to bring about that? You said that.
Ian and I don't know, messing
You-
around with sorry.
You said they were they going out with missionaries or anything like that, or having missionaries come to their home or something?
Not really, no. Apparently last transfer like they just barely visited with the members. Like some of the members they visited with, and like they would just hang out, like have fun. But they didn't do good visits and efficient visits. Like they would just go there, hang out, talk, and then yeah. So and they also just didn't try to get to know the members last week or last transfer. And I realized that's a big thing with a lot of members. They want the missionaries to come by because like in Confite, my first transfer there in La Ceiba, I mean, we barely visited members because we were just focusing on investigators because like we always had a lot of people progressing. We always had a lot of investigators. And so we just rarely visited with members. Like sometimes we did, but usually not. And what do you know? The next transfer with Hako, all we did was visit members. And they were all saying, oh, yeah, the missionaries like never visited us. They never passed by us. So I guess you gotta, if you want to keep the members happy, you gotta visit them. But so I don't know, there's a balance. You can visit them a little bit, get to know them at least. That way they know you exist. But it's just weird. It was weird the way he was just like, yeah, the missionaries just, not been doing anything. Like, well, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if that's true, but I don't know. Anyway, so this transfer, I'm going to really try and like build back the reputation, hopefully, of the missionaries and try to help people to realize that we're trustful. That's what I tried to do in Tella. That's what I was doing in Tella. And then they freaking took me out over just one transfer. But it is what it is. And I told President as well in an email that I'm like, bro, please do not take me out of Louisiana, at least until I have 2 transfers here, please. Because it's so infuriating to only be in an area for 1 transfer. You barely get anything done. It's like you get the ball going and then it's like just a waste of time. Feels like it, but that second transfer is when you really start to get the ball rolling and then like progress starts to be made. But anyway, so yeah, I'm trying to just learn members' names, we're trying to contact a lot. Or I've been trying to do recently in the last couple of weeks is just give out lots of folletos, like just have like short, like 5-minute conversations with people. Just first contact, see how they are, see how they're doing. And try to get to know them, see if they have a question. And if they do have a question, then, figure out what it is, figure out what their interest is. Because everybody has a question. Everybody has questions about life. Everybody has these different problems and doubts that they have. And so if we can find out what that is and, build upon that, figure out what their main spiritual question is or what are they searching for in their life? And then build upon that, answer their question, and then answer more of their questions if they have them. And so I've been trying to do that with like a lot of people that we find. A lot of people they're like, "Oh, I already have my church. No, I'm good. I don't care." Other people are like, "Well, I'm not really interested right now," or et cetera, et cetera. But there's quite a few people that are like, "No, I don't really attend any church right now. I used to, or not anymore because of some reason." Or a lot of people are like, "Well, I don't really like churches. I visited a lot of churches and I just don't really like them." So with those people, it's usually always because someone offended them or they just I don't know, had some sort of problem with the members. I don't know.
Mm.
Problem with other members of that congregation or the leaders. You never know. And so my goal has been to try and give away a lot of like pamphlets, give out a lot of little cards, like invitations to the church with like the address and the time and the day. And then just follow up with those people, like the majority of those people. Try and follow up with them and see if they read the pamphlet, see if they have any questions. And that's one thing that was like our first like big argument that we had, me and Murphy and I, was following up with him. He's like, well, if people, because right now in our mission, if people don't have, hi dad, you made it. If people, you can only count people as teaching, like you can only start teaching people if they, one, go to church or commit to going to church. Two, they want to get baptized, they have the desire to, or three, they are reading the Book of Mormon. And so you can only really start teaching them if they already commit to do those three things. I'm like, one of those three things. I'm like, really? That's a little stupid sometimes because most people don't even know they want to get baptized until you talk to them more about it. So that's really stupid. And also, another thing, Murphy's just so, whatever president says, that's what's right. Whatever the leaders do, that's what's right. Yesterday, and it's all right. We had a recent convert cut our hair. He didn't pop, but I mean, it's really cheap.
Jeremy needs another haircut.
Jimmy needs a haircut. What was I saying? Anyways, yeah. So I mean, the work's progressing pretty well.
Doesn't work.
We actually go on division Saturday with the other elders, and so I went out with Tia, the Latina, and Merc. I mean, the guy we taught with Garcia on divisions, it was a reference that we had that they got. Actually, there was a reference they got, and there's this guy named Jose. And bro, we had such a good first lesson because he was waiting. Oh my gosh, he was gonna wait for us on the curb somewhere, and we were so late to that appointment. I mean, it was like not even funny. We were like an hour late
Mm. Wow.
because of the bus, also just because we left late. Oh, but he waited for us, and we had a really good conversation. And at the end, I mean, we talked about the gospel of Jesus Christ, and we talked about baptism a little bit, and we were like, I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about baptism? Is that something you'd like to do? And he was like, oh, I don't know. I mean, and he asked a question, and he was like, there's what happens to the people that don't get baptized, that never do get baptized in their life, versus the people that do get baptized. And I was like, hold up, let me answer this question. Because I went through this question once in my head before. I was like, if anyone asks me, like, what's the difference between getting baptized and not getting baptized? I was like, well, if the people that don't get baptized, maybe they've taken those first couple steps to grow their faith. Maybe they found God in their life, and maybe they went to church a bit, etc. Those people, those taking their first steps, and everybody has to take those first couple of steps. But if you really want to take your relationship with the Lord to the next level, that's where baptism comes in. because, sure, you can believe in Christ, you can have faith in him, but if you want to take that next step in the commitment to the Lord, to following him and receiving more blessings and more help from him, you have to get baptized. Because through baptism, you're making covenants and promises with the Lord that, if you try and serve him and try to do his will, if you're striving for goodness and serving others, he will bless you in return. And that can only come through baptism. And then you also receive the gift of the Holy Ghost. We talk about that. Anyways, and so at the end, he was like, you know what? Yeah, I do want to get baptized. That is something I want. I do want to follow Christ. For too long, he's just been like, kind of in the middle, like on the fence. He's gone to some churches, not really. And so he took a baptism invitation, and he hadn't gone to church yet. This was our first lesson, actually. And so we were like, okay, we'll talk more about baptism another time. But I mean, what do you think about starting on this process now? What do you think about maybe getting baptized in 3 weeks if you want to start on this now? It's like, yeah, okay, I'd be down for that. And so he put a baptismal date off the first lesson, and he came to church this Sunday. We talked with him on Friday. Sorry, on Friday. Talked with him on Friday, and boom, on Sunday he came to church. We're like, heck yeah, and he really liked it. So fantastic. But anyway, so that was for the other elders' area. It's not our area. But that's okay. I'll keep seeing the guy, every time he goes to church. So that was a pretty cool contact. That was awesome. But yeah, so right now my focus has been trying to just contact a lot. We need to try and get, some people progressing. It's like President gave the example of an escalator. So many missionaries, they'll find a bunch of people, contact a bunch of people, and then, okay, they have a lot of people that they're teaching, and they keep teaching them, and, they're putting them all in that one elevator, progressing a little bit, and some fall off, some so not to progress. And then at the end of the transfer is like one, one, maybe two people that want to get baptized. And then, boom, you got to start over again. And that's what a lot of people do. But what's best to do is, have the escalator approach, have a couple people starting out, receiving like the first, second lesson, people that are already, committing, people that want to get baptized, the people that are like, get on the process to getting baptized. We got to have people on every step of the way. So, yeah, right now we're just trying to find people. Just trying to find people that are interested. And we've had a lot of good first contacts and even a couple like second lessons. And well, our first like big argument between me and Murphy was about the way of contacting. Because I think, in contacting, we should always, just talk for like 5 minutes with a person, figure out what it is they're looking for in their life. Almost everybody has a question or has some sort of doubt, whatever it may be. Find out what that interest or that question is, and then work for that. It's the same thing with sales. You got to figure out what the person wants before you try to sell them anything. And so, it takes a little bit of time. Talking with them a bit, be natural. Talk with them for a bit, see how they're doing. Get to know them. And then ask them, a couple questions, do you believe in Christ? How has Christ influenced your life? And then go off of what's been your journey to finding God in your life? Or are you still on that process? And most people are like, yeah, I'm still, trying to find God. It's okay. Well, that's good. That's good that you're looking for him. But what's prevented you from finding, searching for him more? Or have you had any problems in the past that prevented you, or what's going on? I'm like, dude, we should be, talking with people, genuinely just trying to figure out that interest. What is that interest? What is that question that they, a doubt that they have maybe, and then work off of that. And then, I always try to every contact give away a pamphlet. One of the three pamphlets, plan of salvation, if I think they need a plan of salvation, the gospel of Jesus Christ, or the restoration. So I usually give away more gospel of Jesus Christ, and then plan of salvation, and then restoration. Well, I don't know. Sometimes it changes. Each day I use more of different ones. Anyway, so, and then I always, this is one thing I'm trying to do off it more, is with most folletos we give away. Most of those contacts that we have with people that, showed a little bit of interest, or, maybe they don't go to a church, maybe they do, but they're like, they don't really go to the church. It's like once a month, maybe. Christmas, Easter Catholics. The people that aren't going to church consistently, and the people that maybe want to look for God more in their life. Because right now our mission is focusing on, you should only teach people if, one, they are committed to going to church that week, or if they've gone to church. Two, if they want to get baptized, and three, they are reading the Book of Mormon. Like, I don't know. It's like it's a good idea. It's like, you got to see if people are actually, fulfilling their commitments, or if people are actually interested. But I mean, there's a lot of people that they don't even know if they want to go to church. You ask them the first contact, hey, do you want to go to church on Sunday? They're like, maybe. Vamos a ver, we'll see. It's like you got to give them a reason to go to church. You got to give them an actual reason. This will help your life. This will help you, grow closer to Christ, whatever. And then most people, they don't want to get baptized, off the first lesson, first contact. And, with the Book of Mormon, you can't just teach the Book of Mormon to every person you contact, or most people, because that takes a bit. You got to explain it, and then blah, blah, blah. And then we also just don't have too many Book of Mormons to give away. We got like one box, but we need some more. Anyways, and so that's where our first argument came from. I was like, Murphy, we need to follow up with most of these people that we've given like pamphlets and church invitations to. Follow up with them. See if they, have any more questions. See if they read the pamphlet, because almost everybody that reads the pamphlet,
You've got mail,
has some sort of interest, or that shows that they're, fulfilling commitments a little bit. And he's like, no, we don't need to follow with most people. I mean, most people don't care. They're probably not even going to read the pamphlet. I'm like, well, we don't know that until we actually follow up with them. And he's like, well, president says you should just do the first contact, plant that seed and then move on. That's what president told us to do. I'm like, well, that shouldn't be the case with everybody. Sure, you can plant that seed with somebody that, whatever, they don't really seem interested at first. But like most people don't seem interested at first. You got to at least follow up once, get that second contact, and see if they've grown a bit. You can't just, put that plant that seed and then move on for everybody. So we shouldn't follow up with every single folleto we put. Sometimes we just give a folleto to somebody and they're like a diehard Catholic. It's like, okay, whatever. Plant that seed and move on. Maybe if you pass by in the area, follow up with them. You never know. But like, I would say 90% of the folletos we give away, church invitations, you got to follow up with them. How do you know they're going to progress or that they've read it until you follow?
Look, if they have absolutely no interest, then they will not have read the pamphlet. But you won't know that until you check back.
Yeah, exactly. And like a lot of people, like in Tella, a lot of people that we gave pamphlets to, we checked up with them, we followed up with them, and they were like, oh, I was just so busy this week, I never got a chance to. Or, oh, I haven't even been home, I'm always working. Or like, oh, I just, it's like, okay, you don't really care. That's why I always tell people, I'm like, don't read it when you get a chance. I'm like, read it tonight. Read it right now when we go. Like right after we go, just take 5-10 minutes out of your day. You've got plenty of time, you know. You're just like, you know, you've got 10 minutes for God. Will you take 10 minutes out of your day to grow closer to Christ? Oh yeah, okay. This is your 10-minute homework for, you know, this is your 10-minute spiritual homework for today. Read this pamphlet and pray about it. So, and if people don't read it, okay, that's, you know, they don't care. I mean, there's some people that like, they don't read it, but they were like, well, I read like, you know, the first page maybe. They're like, I read a little bit. Like, okay, what'd you learn? It talks about Jesus Christ. Like, yeah, all right. So, I mean, some people, they don't read the Folleto, but like they still have interest. So it's like, you gotta follow up that first time. Anyway, so I don't know. There's a pointless argument because he was like, you know, I'm gonna do what president says. I'm gonna, you know, president received revelation from God. This is how we need to teach. This is how we need to contact. I'm like, yes, he did receive revelation because president's changing everything. He's changing all the things. And we are seeing more baptisms in the mission. We're seeing like 30% more baptisms. But are actually converted people to the Lord? They're few, man. It's gotta be so few. I mean, the member retention rate for recent converts last year was 40%. The year before that was like 43 or 45, something like that. So we'll see at the end of this year what the retention rate is like. I'm guessing it's going to be like 30 or 25 or something. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, also I got a couple. How much time do I have on Messenger? Okay, actually, I'm gonna call you guys up on WhatsApp because I want to use a bit of Messenger time for calling Hyro because he doesn't have WhatsApp. So let me call you guys on WhatsApp right now. Sorry.
What's that?